If you've been wondering whether your partner might have a sex addiction problem, you're not alone. And the answer isn't what you think. Hi, I'm Dr. Janie Lacy, a certified sex addiction therapist supervisor, and I've worked with hundreds of partners of sex addicts over my 20 years in practice. I'm also the expert therapist on TLC's The Last Resort, Season 1. And today I'm breaking down the 10 clinical signs that distinguish sex addiction from a high sex drive, because there is a huge difference. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, what questions to ask, and what your next steps should be. And stick around until the end because I'm going to share the one question that reveals everything. First, let's clear up the biggest misconception. Sex addiction is not about how much sex someone wants. It's about loss of control, consequences, and compulsivity. Think of it this way. Someone can drink wine every night and not be an alcoholic. But if they're drinking to numb their emotions, hiding it from their loved ones, and continuing despite negative consequences, that's addiction. The same applies to sexual behavior. According to the diagnostic criteria I use as a CSAT, a sex addiction involves loss of control over the behavior, continuation despite serious consequences, preoccupation and obsessive thinking, and using sex to regulate emotions. Now, let me walk you through the 10 signs that I look for in my practice. Sign number 1, escalation. The behavior needs to increase in intensity and frequency or risk to get the same effect. What started as occasional porn use becomes hours daily. What was flirting becomes secret dating apps. Sign number 2, loss of time. Hours disappear. They say they were working late or at the gym, but you can't account for where they actually were. In my office, partners often say, well, I don't even know where he goes anymore. Sign number 3, secrecy and lying. This is huge. Sex addicts become master compartmentalizers. They have secret phones, hidden apps, clearing browser history, obsessively. The lying becomes second nature, and they're good at it. Sign number 4, failed promises to stop. I'll never do it again, but they do, again and again. They genuinely want to stop, but they can't maintain sobriety without professional help. If you heard multiple promises followed by broken promises, pay attention. Sign number 5, emotional withdrawal. They'll become emotionally distant. Intimacy suffers, not just sexual intimacy, but emotional connection. They're preoccupied, checked out. They're irritable when you question them. Sign number 6, they get defensive or aggressive when confronted. When you ask about their phone activity, suspicious credit card charges, or perhaps where they've been, they explode. Or they turn it around on you. You're controlling, you're paranoid, you're the problem. This is called Darvo, my friends. They deny, they attack, and they reverse victim offender, meaning that now they are the victim and you are the offender. Classic sex addict defense mechanism. Sign number 7, high risk behaviors. Perhaps sex in public places, sex with strangers, unprotected sex despite knowing the risk, watching pornography when grandchildren are around. The addiction overrides judgment and safety concerns. Sign number 8, using sex to regulate emotions. When stressed, sex. When anxious, sex. When bored, sex. It's not about connection or pleasure. It's about medicating uncomfortable feelings just like an alcoholic drinks to cope. Sign number 9, financial consequences. Money spent on porn subscriptions, campsites, strip clubs, affairs, sex workers, credit cards you didn't even know about, money missing from accounts. In severe cases, I've seen clients spend $20,000, $50,000, even over $100,000 on their addiction. Sign number 10, you have a gut feeling. Trust yourself. Partners of sex addicts almost always say, I knew something was wrong, but I didn't want to believe it. Your nervous system is picking up on things your conscious mind wants to deny. Here's the question I promised. Are there negative consequences happening? And is the behavior continuing anyway? That's it. That's how you know. If he's choosing the behavior over your relationship, over his job, over his values, over his health, and he keeps doing it, that's addiction. If you're recognizing multiple signs, here's what I want you to do. First, you're not crazy. Your feelings are valid. What you are experiencing is real. Second, this is not your fault. Sex addiction has nothing to do with your attractiveness, your sexual availability, or your worth. This is about his unresolved trauma and emotional regulation issues. Third, you need support. Specifically, you need a CSAT, a certified sex addiction therapist who specializes in betrayal trauma. Regular couples therapy won't cut it. Fourth, get clarity. We have a free assessment tool that helps you determine whether you're dealing with sex addiction or something else. Link is in the description below. I also want to invite you to my Woman Redeemed program. This is for women who have experienced relationship betrayal and are ready to break their toxic patterns. We meet in small groups, and I personally facilitate using experiential therapy techniques that create real, lasting change. If you've been through betrayal, if you keep choosing partners who hurt you, if you're ready to understand why and finally break that cycle, Woman Redeemed is for you. Link is also in the description. If this video helped you, please hit that subscribe button. I post new videos every week on relationship trauma, toxic patterns, and healing. I am Dr. Janie Lacy, and until next time.